The people you surround yourself with will hopefully help you get booked. But it's also great to have a team of cheerleaders. And if you get to know other photographers, it's nice to have someone to ask for help and advice, someone to take over if you get sick, and just generally fun to hang around with because they might be the only ones who understand what you're going through. You're listening to Sustainable Photography, where you get support and education to build your profitable business in a way that supports your way of living. I'm Ingvild Kolnes, and after 11 years as a photographer, I want to share what I've learned with you. So if you're looking for confidence, inspiration, and to-the-point tips, keep listening. For full transparency, I also want you to know that I'm a mentor with paid offers, and I might mention some of those in this episode. When I started out, I didn't have any photographer friends. It was hard to get to know anyone, and social media wasn't really a thing the way it is now. I also lived in the UK where I didn't really know anyone when I started. And then I moved to Svalbard, and after a while, I moved back home to where I live now. So moving around doesn't really make starting a business easier. And it certainly doesn't make creating a network of photographer friends or loyal clients easy. I didn't really have anyone who believed in me back then. Maybe rightfully so, because I wasn't that good and I didn't really believe in myself either. But I knew I wanted to be a photographer and I really wanted photography friends. But I am such an introvert and I don't really enjoy being social all the time, and it kind of wears me out. I did try getting in touch with some photographers I knew of, but no one really seemed interested. I was getting a lot of inquiries even back then, and I thought a good way of getting friends was to send referral to other photographers. But it didn't really work. After a while, though, I did start getting some photographer friends, and it made such a big difference. Having someone to meet up with or just message when something funny or difficult happens. Having photographer friends and or colleagues was actually on my dream board back then. And I don't really think I'll ever take that off because having someone who understands makes such a big difference. This is actually part of why I created my mentor program, because I know how challenging it can be to deal with stuff alone. And I want to be the person I wish I had when I started out. And actually, my mentor program, Sustainable Photography, is even better than what I wanted when I was starting, because it's a whole group of photographers supporting each other, cheering each other on, sharing experiences and wins. And there's so much power in knowing that someone else has done something that you want to do. The mentor program is accepting new students now, and I hope you'll join. The goal is to create a business that works for you. We go through everything from pricing and workflow to finding dream clients and branding and marketing. It's not just an online course where you do everything on your own. You'll get lots of support from me, and we do the work step by step to avoid overwhelm. There's no wrong time to do this kind of work or to invest in your business. So come join us at ingvildkolnes.com/sustainable. Just last week, I actually reached out to some of my former students to ask them about the results they had after they joined. And I think they were even impressed themselves when they looked at the numbers. One girl increased her pricing by 150%. She also is doubling the amount of clients she is taking on now compared to what she did back then. Another increased her wedding packages by $1,000 or 10,000 Norwegian kroner, but in the time we had together in the program. So just imagine what shifts like this can do to you and your business. Even if you can just increase your pricing by 10%, or if you can get one new client a month. What could that mean for your business? If you want to see if this is a good fit for you, just message me over on Instagram. You'll find me at Ingvild Kolnes, and let's talk about it. Having a network around you to support you and to indirectly help you get more shoots will definitely help you. It might feel unfair, but it is true that it's harder if you're an introverted person or if you're living in a new country or location. Your friends, family, colleagues, your following on social media and clients, they will help you promote your photography business. They'll talk you up, mention you to their network, and that way it spreads organically. They'll talk you up, mention you to their own network, and that way it spreads organically. So If you don't have a network already, what can you do? It might feel like you need to hang out with people in real life, but honestly, some of my closest photography friends and colleagues I've only ever hung out with online or just met once or twice in person. And that's the real magic behind social media. It's a great way of getting to meet people that you otherwise would never even know existed. Another great way to meet new friends is to attend events or workshops. I bet if you start looking around, you'll find that there are some that would work for you. Sometimes you have to travel far, other times you'll find some right around where you live, and they don't have to be photography related for you to be able to grow your network. You can also join memberships, network groups, meetups. And I'm just sure that if you start looking or asking your new social media friends, you're bound to find some that work for you. Where I live, there really isn't that much. So lately, I've started to invite photographers to meet up and hang out. And you know what? So can you. You can organize something yourself and invite people that you would like to get to know and ask everyone to bring a friend of their own. As an introvert, this stuff can feel really draining. So it's not something that you need to do all the time. But if you can just do it once or twice, you never know what might come from it. And, we all have power within us that lets us do something, even when it's outside our comfort zone. Sometimes we just have to reach and look really deep within us and find pieces of us that we know can help us out. Doesn't mean we have to change our personality, just kind of put a different hat on and just do our very best. Also, I don't want you to forget about your clients. They are part of your network as well, and they might be of great help when it comes to referring you to their own network. And they might be of great help when it comes to referring you to their friends and their family. As I mentioned, social media, that's great for meeting new people, but it's also a great way to get your photography seen. Because if you create content that's shared, that might lead to incredible things as well. I don't want to say that there are wrong ways to build relationships, but I can say that there are some ways that are more effective than others. And I know that when you're feeling really eager and when you're probably even more so when you're new, you just want to reach out and you want to get to know more people and you want a second shoot and you want to do all the things. But if you reach out to someone you've never talked to before and you ask them to recommend you or to collaborate or to be their second shooter, then that probably won't help you so much. Think of it a bit like dating. If someone jumps into your DMs and asks you to marry them, that's taking it a bit too far. You're not likely to say yes. But if you start by liking someone's photos, commenting on stories, and then after some time, it becomes more natural to ask for something bigger. Of course, there are exceptions to everything, and people are so different. But making sure that you actually get along with someone and taking your time to build relationships, that never hurts. You're able to build a much more lasting business if you make decision based on the long haul rather than what would work right here and right now. I'd love to know what you've found to be the best way of getting new friends and colleagues. So come over to Instagram and let me know, and we can do another conversation on this because I think everyone will benefit from meeting more people and having more people cheering them on rather than everyone's kind of stuck doing their own thing. Because unfortunately, there are still people who are kind of thriving on bringing each other down. And I think that's such a shame. So instead, let's focus on the good things and empowering each other and focusing on how we can make each other better. As mentioned, the Sustainable Photography Program is starting back up and you can join at ingvildkolnes.com/sustainable. Thanks for listening to Sustainable Photography. Head over to Instagram at ingvildkolnes to tell me what you want future episodes to be all about. Check out the show notes over at ingvildkolnes.com/podcast. You can learn more about the Sustainable Photography Program and sign up for the waitlist there. To get more of this content, make sure you subscribe to the podcast and leave a review. Your support makes all the difference. Talk soon.